morning, everybody, and welcome back to the walk. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, and we are going to be looking at the letter Resh. That is the very first letter in the word spirit. There's a reason why we went in this odd order. When I went to Hebrew for Christians, I found that there was, what's the word I'm looking for? I found that there was not much information for Resh. So I had to do a lot of digging for Resh. That's why I had more information for Vav, more information for Chet. Today, we are looking at Resh. Resh is the 20th letter in the alphabet. And the way it is drawn or written, whatever you want to say, it's a person who is bent over, as if they're poor. It's made with two lines. There's a horizontal line and a vertical line. And it looks a lot like delete, but it has that yod in the upper right-hand corner, but delete has that yod in the upper right-hand corner, and Resh does not. So that's how you can tell them the difference. You look for that little yod. It kind of looks like a comma. The yod represents one who is subservient to God and adheres to every letter of the law. So the Resh's two lines mean our intellect and our ability to speak that intellect. It's what's coming out of our mind and going through our mouth. Because they are not joined with the yod, the speech and intellect are for that person's own gratification. So it's like for that person's own glory. They can even represent degeneration. It can mean corruption. It can mean evil. A person's thoughts and speech are often, this person's thoughts and speech are so self-gratifying that they can often be very hurting. The absence of the yod is important in another way. The yod signifies that the world that is to come. So the Talmud would say that God created the physical world with the letter He, and he created the world to come with the letter Yud. The Yud represents the judgment that's going to take place in that world to come. We're talking this end times prophecy. The delete is someone who always has in mind that there will be a day of judgment, and he is therefore careful about what he thinks about. Keep in mind, the difference between Resh and delete is that yud. Resh does not have that yud. So this person is not thinking about judgment. They're not thinking about consequences. They're just living for their own gratification. So when we get to the meaning, Resh means one who is poor. It is illustrated in the famous story of David when he married Bathsheba. Bathsheba was the wife of one of David's soldiers. You want to keep in mind he had this affair with her. She got pregnant, so the cat's going to be out of the bag. So what does David do? He tells his army to kill her husband so that he can then turn around and marry her. So the poverty of the Resh is more wretched than the destitution of, and it's a very poor person. There is one of the reasons that this person is poor is because they're lacking knowledge. They're lacking knowledge of God. So when we put this together, this is the first letter in the word Spirit. What this means is, without the Holy Spirit, without the rest of the word, we are that poor, wretched, evil person. And then we enter into this relationship with Christ. We get the Vav, we get the Chet, and then we get Spirit-filled, and we are a complete and total new creation. That's why I wanted to do Resh at the end, because it's kind of a Debbie Downer, it's kind of like, ugh. It's not a fun letter to teach, but when we understand what Resh means in light of the fact that it's the first letter in the word Spirit, it's about our transformation when we enter into that relationship with Christ. We are no longer that wretched, poor person. We are now anointed. We are now called. We are now in complete fellowship with the Holy Spirit and able to get that direction and hear the still small voice of the Holy Spirit that we weren't able to have before. It points to the fact that we're a new creation. Now, I did find more information about Vav since we covered Vav, so we're going to go back into Vav tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.